Well, hi everyone, here we are in the workshop. Today I want to show you a new storage system, but it's a storage system specific for one particular tool. Now, let me just reach over for the tool in question. Now, it's these guys. This is the Dspiae paintbrush system, the one with the interchangeable heads. Many of you have invested in these and have found them, I think, to be very useful for many different applications. The ergonomic feel of these, the way they're balanced, the fact that you can interchange your head. When you ruin one, you haven't got to throw the entire brush away. You can just replace the head with a brand new one. Many of you may have seen a previous video where I talked about a storage system. I was really looking for feedback whether you guys felt that you did need a storage system for this range of paintbrushes. What I've decided based on your feedback is to make the storage system a stock item, and that's what I want to show you today. So let me just put those down for a second. Let me just reach over for the two components. Now, it's these guys. Now, many of you may have seen the previous video where I just talk about why we've designed it this way and why it could be useful for anyone that's invested in the Dspiae interchangeable head paintbrush. Couple of different versions. I've decided to definitely do that. There was a debate whether maybe one of these could be better than the other, but I've decided to offer both of them. The first, of course, is literally a ZEP component. It has all the ZEP connectors on the edge. So if you have the workstation already, or if you have invested in any of the ZEP components on your bench for something specific, this guy will snap into them without any problems at all, as all these connectors are standard. I use this one because obviously I have lots of ZEP components on my bench. You can probably see some in the video. I think that's ideal for that application. But of course, what about everyone else? Which is where this guy comes into its own. I think I said on the original video, I really like the compactness of this solution, particularly if you're struggling for space and you want something really just for the Dspiae paintbrush system. This guy could be absolutely right for you. I say it's small and compact. I use this for two sets. I have two sets of brushes for different things, and it works beautifully. Let's put a few paintbrushes in both of these, just so you can actually see how they sort of work in action. They're all designed to handle to hold all these handles without any problems at all. On the back are some additional storage spaces, and those, if I can reach them, are for the spare heads. You can't store all the spare head in the back of this, but you can store a few of them. Depends if you've invested in all of the brushes or you've gone with maybe the small or the broad. Depends on what your application is, but there's plenty of storage there for those. That's kind of how it sits on my bench, snapped into my existing ZEP components. I've just snapped this off just to show you in more detail. But of course, what about everyone else? And that's really where this guy comes into its own. If you don't have any ZEP components, then this guy might be ideal for you. Let me just transfer some of these over so you can see how this works in action as well. And again, on the back, plenty of storage for several of the spare heads. There's a big storage hole in the middle as well. Now, I quite like that because I have a few brushes with quite chunky handles. They tend to be the brushes I use for dry brushing. So I actually store those in there. So in effect, I have both components for different different applications, and I think that's what it's about. If you're struggling with storage for these guys because of their sort of lozenge shape, because they don't really fit into standard paintbrush holding systems. I mean, I've got one just behind the camera. It's quite a large one. I think it's from. I think I got mine from. Let me think. Who's it from? It might be the Green Stuff one, but all of the holes are too small because they take standard paintbrushes, like, let me just reach for one, with barrels like this guy. And that's what they're designed for. Because Dspiae, in its infinite wisdom, went for a different design. But of course, that's where the ergonomics comes in. But how do you store them? You could throw these into a jam jar, of course, absolutely, or use one of the square, larger ZEP components. But I felt, was there an elegant solution? Was there a better way we could do that? So I basically asked the guy that designed ZEP to have a think about that. And we've refined the design a little bit, but this is pretty much how the original design I sort of spoke about in the first video, and those are on the store as you watch this. So if you have invested in this paintbrush system from Dspiae, you know, these storage solutions could be ideal for you. They offer you I guess a level of versatility, which I quite like. Personally, I like the fact that I could have all of my brushes out, nicely labelled up. When I need a specific size, I can just reach over and pick the brush. I don't have to muck around with trying to find the appropriate brush size. Great for workflow. It doesn't hold me up. I feel my model making sessions are more efficient, etc., etc. You'll hear a lot of that on these videos. What's the workflow like? Can this tool help with accuracy and precision, but also can it help with with our sessions, make them more enjoyable, more efficient? Can we build more models ultimately? So that's the new system, which is on the store right now. 2 versions. You may want to go with both, depending on what your application is, or either or. I felt it was something that really these brushes needed, which is why I tasked the designer of ZEP to have a think about what that could look like, and these are the result. So as usual, any questions, any queries, do come back to me, and of course keep on modeling.